Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tori Summers, and I am coming to talk to you guys about how to strengthen your teen engagement through partnering with the schools at your public libraries. Let me go to the next slide. Why you should focus on teen engagement. Number one, the importance of teen engagement in libraries. Libraries play such a crucial role in the development of teens. We provide access to knowledge, technology. We provide a safe space for them for their own personal growth. However, some libraries struggle to attract and retain teen patrons, including my own library. Engaging teens is essential, not only for their academic success, but to foster their own love for reading, creativity, and their lifelong learning. Some challenges in reaching teen audiences. These are things that I've seen. There's some different competing interests throughout schools and things like that, such as extracurricular activities, sports, social media. Part-time jobs often pull teens away from the library. To successfully capture the attention of teens, libraries need to rethink how they connect with the group, making the library a destination that fits their needs and schedules. For example, I found that right after school, around 3:30 is not a good time for my teens. They have sports that they have to be at. They like to hang out with their friends. So I found that around 4:30, 5:30 is the best time for them. The role of schools in teen engagement. One of the most effective ways to engage teens is partnering with schools. Schools provide a direct link to the teen population and offer insights into their academic and extracurricular interests. By collaborating with educators and administrators, librarians can create targeted outreach efforts to tailor programs that not only align with school curricula, but also tap into their own personal interests. Why you should partner with the schools? The goal for partnering with schools is to create a beneficial relationship that serves both educational and social benefits. You get access to a captive teen audience, which makes it easier to engage them where they are. You need to align with their education goals. Librarians can complete the school curriculum, complement, offering resources and programs that support academic achievement, literacy, and research. It also provides an opportunity for collaborative programming. Joint programs allow both schools and libraries to pool resources and reach more students together. Strengthening community ties. This builds a supportive network for teen development, encouraging lifelong learning and library usage. How to build a strong foundation. Clear communication is key between both administrators and librarians to ensure both sides understand each other's goals. They should meet with each other to make sure that they both understand this. Knowing what teens need is vital. Working with educators help librarians design programs that match student interests. Flexibility matters. Both librarians and schools need to adapt and focus on shared goals, like promoting literacy and creativity. Making sure that open, regular communication with school staff is essential. Understanding the academic and social needs of teens. Aligning library programming with student interests. Being flexible with scheduling and programming, and focusing on shared goals to maximize the impact on teens is a great way to start building a strong foundation with your schools. Engaging teens through creative programs. Creative programming plays a crucial role in engaging teens by fostering self-expression and sense of belonging. Activities such as arts and crafts, workshops, writing contests, and STEM challenges not only attract teens but also enhance their skills and creativity. Ultimately, these initiatives significantly enhance teen engagement at the library and build a vibrant library community. Here's some examples of things I've done previously that the teens really love. I recently did a book tasting at both of our middle schools here in Marion County, and the kids loved talking about what they liked and what they didn't like with the books. I recommend that one 100%. My teens love perler beads. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know if you guys also have this, but my teens love the perler beads. So much so that I bring them with me to the schools. Writing clubs, I have a lot of teens interested in writing clubs. It promotes their creativity, and KET actually does a youth writing contest, and I have a lot of kids interested in that. Tabletop role-playing games. I've got a D&D group, a Call of Cthulhu group, etc. They love that so much. Anime clubs. I actually learned a while ago that if you contact Crunchyroll directly, they will give you a premium subscription for free as long as you maintain that connection with them and continue to let them know that you are using that account, the library account. So that is a good way to use that. Let's go to the next slide. How to reach teens where they are. This is collaborating with schools and offer engaging programs that fit into their routines. That involves using the programs that I talked about previously. It helps them realize that libraries are more accessible and relevant to them, and helps provide them a safe space. Reaching them where they are, especially in schools, requires building a strong relationships with not only the educators but with the teens themselves, and creating programs that fit into their daily routines in school. If you go to the schools and you bring a program with them, they realize that the library is not is a cooler place than they actually realized, and it helps involve them more in their library. By offering library resources through classroom visits, lunchtime activities, and after-school events, we can engage teens in a space where they already trust and feel comfortable in. Partnerships with schools also allows libraries to tailor their upcoming programs to teens, such as book clubs, gaming events, etc. Letting them know what is happening at the library gets more involvement with the teens. Sometimes the teens don't know what's happening at their library, and that's why they're not coming. And so letting them know what's happening helps them come to the library. Meeting teens on their own turf makes it easier to spark their interest and show the library is a relevant and accessible resource. How to sustain these partnerships. Sustaining partnerships between public libraries and schools relies on clear communication between both parties and a shared goal. Regular meetings help align both institutions in supporting students, learning through programs and outreach. Flexibility is the key to long-term success. Libraries and schools should adapt to changing needs for students by offering joint events, providing students with library cards, and integrating resources into the classroom. Now, I don't know about you guys and your schools, but we have open houses every year. And we offer library card sign-ups during that time. And we also have an outreach program where the bookmobile comes to the middle schools. And they love that so much because sometimes the kids can't come to the library because they live in the outside communities and they don't have a ride. So this provides them access to materials that they wouldn't get otherwise. During the school year, I bring library card applications for them to take home to the parents if they weren't at the open houses. This way that every child has a chance of using the bookmobile and getting those resources. Evaluating engagement and impact. How to evaluating engagement through school partnerships involves tracking participation and gathering feedback from students and teachers to identify areas for improvement. Measuring impact focuses on changes in attitudes towards reading and the library, with increased visits and positive feedback indicating success and relevance to teens' needs. For example, the teachers were the reason why I started doing these book tastings. They wanted the kids to have a love for reading, and they wanted them to find what they wanted, they loved. Our our school librarians don't have a very good budget here in Marion County. So for me bringing my books, the teens get to realize that there are other books other than what the school librarian has. They get to see the books that the public library has, which may foster their love for reading more. How to overcome common obstacles. This highlights challenges such as a lack of awareness, competing interests, perceptions of libraries, social dynamics, and accessibility issues. By understanding these barriers, libraries can better develop strategies to create inclusive, relevant, and appealing programming that resonates with today's youth, ultimately fostering a vibrant and engaged community of young readers and learners. Here's some examples of the common obstacles I've had to face. Competing interests, that goes back to the extracurricular activities, sports, after school events, things like that. Transportation issues is a really big issue here. Our buses used to drop the kids off here at the public library, but they don't anymore. And that causes a issue because we have outside communities in our county that span at least 10 miles from the library, and that's a long walk. And it's hard to get them there, especially with different rules and regulations surrounding that. Lack of awareness. Again, going back, sometimes the teens don't realize that we have these cool and fun activities planned for them, which is how we get them engaged. Again, I go and tell them about this cool and fun stuff that I have planned for them. The school librarians announce it on the intercom for them, which gets them coming more often. It's not just a once in a while whenever I'm there. They're always coming because the school librarians go the extra mile. It's also based off social media. What social media are you using to promote your programs? We use Facebook, which a lot of teens don't use. So we've started going towards Instagram and TikTok to promote our programs, which has gotten a lot of success. Perception of libraries. A lot of teens think that libraries are just uncool places that just have a lot of books. When in reality, we all know that libraries are really cool places that have just more than books. I like to tell my kids that I have a room specially for them. It's called our game cube, and we have games in there for them to play. They can just hang out in there, different things like that. Fear of social situations. Getting them in here is kind of hard with that. But once they're in here, they make tons of friends and they make really close relationships with not only their fellow peers, but with the librarians ourselves. Program relevance. Is it relevant for them? Again, the perler beads, I've realized are extremely popular, but things like other types of programs they really don't like. I found that they really don't like board games, which I love board games, but they don't. So just kind of doing those different types of programs, getting to see what they truly like, what they truly don't like, is really, really good in terms of program relevance. Social media influence. Again, this goes back to the lack of awareness. What social media are you using? They have tons of social media influence, and what is social media saying? That is a great way to that's a great tool for programs. What is social media saying, and how can I put this into my program? Lack of family support is a hard one. Sometimes it goes back to transportation issues. Sometimes families also don't think that the library is a cool and fun place. And once they get in here, a lot of our families realize that we have a ton to offer for all ages. Our programs stem from ages 0 to 99, so there's possibilities for everyone. Start building those partnerships today. To start building partnerships, youth librarians should reach out to local schools to introduce their resources and discuss shared goals. Setting up initial meetings fosters open communication and helps identify common interests that can lead to collaboration. I started right after COVID, so the teen librarian before me never got to go to the schools because of COVID. So once I started, I immediately sent emails out to all of our school librarians, setting up that initial meeting to see what they needed from me and then what I needed to do for them. Additionally, organizing joint events such as open houses or literacy nights can strengthen communications between the libraries and schools. Creating those programs that align with the school curriculum and gathering feedback from educators and students ensures that the partnership remains effective and responsive to community needs. We have a reading celebration in our community, and everyone from the community comes together to support those kids and let them know that reading is amazing and that they should love reading. We give them opportunities to find what they love. For example, I still love young adult books, and that is where my love for reading thrives. Sometimes kids are not like that. Sometimes they like graphic novels or manga over chapter books, things like that. Host informational sessions for teachers to showcase library resources and services that can support classroom learning. Collaborate on themed reading challenges that encourage students to engage with both the library and their school's curriculum. With the reading celebration this year, our theme was Olympics related, so we did a reading challenge based off of sports. It was sports themed and all of this stuff, but whichever school read the most got a prize, which really fostered their love for reading and things like that. Share resources and best practices through newsletters or social media to keep both librarians and educators connected. We have a newsletter that we share out. I share it out to all of the librarians or the school librarians here in Marion County, and they get to utilize it and tell the students about the programs. Nicole asks, have you ever had a school that seemed opposed to connect to the library or other schools? It's not that they were opposed, but I have a really hard time getting in contact with our high school. Erin points out something really amazing. Partnering with your family resource center coordinators are a great way too. That's a great way to get into the schools, and that's how I found that out. Our school librarian at the high school doesn't answer emails very often. And so I had to go through the Family Resource Center coordinator to get into the school for book club, to start a book club there. Ashley asked, how can we solve the transportation issue? Many of our teens don't come because the high school is too far away to walk. What I do is I bring the programs to them with the bookmobile. We do make and takes a lot, passive programming, and that still gets them to know what the library has to offer and gets them to know programs that we do. So I recently just did a Halloween bracelet make and take for Halloween, and I put some on the bookmobile for when the bookmobile does their community stops. And we found a lot of success with that. So that's a great way to do that. I think I talked about the facilitate student-led projects that utilize library resources, allowing teens to take ownership of their learning. All right, guys, is there any questions, any comments, any other questions that you guys have?
Tori, I thought maybe we could go back to some of the examples that you had on slide 5 of the different ways that you engage with the teens and the different programs that you have, because a couple people had made comments on what was really working great for them and what had good attendance, like the perler beads and the anime club. And I thought maybe just people could share ideas together here on, like, how often do you meet, or what is making that successful? Is it word of mouth, or because they have a friend that's coming too and it just turns into a group thing, or is it the engagement of the activity or the materials? Or I thought maybe if you wanted to, we could just have some discussion around that.
Yeah, that would be great. Um, Regina asks, what are some stats for my programs? They used to vary really badly. Really, really badly. But once I started going to those schools and once I started to promote the programs that they wanted, I had a steady turnout starting. I do have my regulars. Again, the big ones are perler beads. They come in after school. They're always out. They can make anything they want as long as it's appropriate. And I just iron them for them. That way they don't get burned. Ashley asked, when I sent home the library card registration forms, did I have many return them? I have about usually 10 or 15 that turn them in every time. They have to have parent signatures, and that's usually what gets them not bringing them back, is that they always forget to have their parents sign them. But I do usually have a good turnout for those because they really are interested on what the bookmobile has, because we've started our own manga collection on the bookmobile, and they love the manga. The other Ashley, asks, how can we retain teens over the summer? Our attendance significantly drops whenever school is out. Funny enough, ours skyrockets because I find that school has a lot of extracurriculars involved with it, but also a lot of teens stay home during the summer. It's their break. What I like to do is do weekly activities for them out in the community where they're located. That way they don't have to go far, and they can just come just a few blocks away. What is the high attendance number in your perler bead program or the anime club? I think I had about 20 for anime club one time, and that was right after I went to the schools. It's usually about 10 or 15, and I let them pick what we watch. They get to pick what we watch every time as long as it's appropriate, and they've been really interested in One Piece recently, so we have been watching One Piece with them. I also tried to do a craft with it. So next week, next Tuesday, I have anime club again. This time I get to pick what we're watching, and we're watching Kiki's Delivery Service because it's Halloween, and we're doing a crystal ball craft with that. With the book tastings, I bring about anywhere from 30 to 40 books to our middle schools, and I set them in groups of 4. And I actually got a packet of stuff from Teachers Pay Teachers. I think that's what the website is called. I may be mistaken, but they get to pick 3 books. They do the first impressions for 30 seconds. They read the front cover if there's something in the front, or the back cover if there's something on the back, and they rate it based off good, bad, or okay for the front cover, and then they rate the back cover 1 out of 10. I always like to tell them 1 being I don't want to touch this book again, 10 being I want to check this book out right now and I've not even read it, and 5 being it's okay. And then that I make them read for 4 minutes, and then they write down what they think of the book. I don't let them just put I like the book, I don't like the book. They have to put why, because I work mainly with 6th through 8th graders, and the teachers want them to be able to do that. And then it asks if the author hooked them, and I like to explain what that is to them. And then again, they have to put the reason why they think it hooked them or they think it didn't. I can put that. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I can put that in with the slide, so you guys know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the teacher pay teacher thing. We have tried communicating with our high school, some of our programs. We have even made them announce and announcements, hang flyers to no avail. I'm going to try some of your ideas, and I'm hoping for improvement. What really got me into the high school was our book club. They have club days at our high school, and I did that with them, and that really, really helped with our school librarian, for her to realize, okay, maybe I should be doing this. Nicole asked, do I have a teen advisory board? The teens in mine are mostly homeschooled, but the high school librarian and their news club advertises or programs in their paper. I'm in the process of working on one. I have some applications, but I'm hoping for more with that. I try to tell them about that every school year, every time I'm there. The e-newsletters are really, really great for letting the school librarians know what's happening. I don't know if you guys do registrations with your programs, but last year I used Google Forms because all of our students have Google Chromebooks, and that was a great way for them to realize what was happening every week. So that would be a good option too. That's what I did. And then the attendance with the perler beads, if I have it as a program, it's usually about 10 to 15 again. But if I have it as just a passive program where they can just come in at any time, at any part of the day, and use them, I usually have about 2 every other day come in and use them. They use them as decorations for their rooms a lot. For the murder mystery parties, those are our big things. I have one in November, actually, on the 16th. And I usually group my teens and adults together. it's usually about 14 and plus that I do. And I have one in the fall and I have one in the springtime. With our tabletop role playing game, that one, I've had consistent members for years. It started before I was even the teen librarian here. Our previous teen librarian started it, and I've been playing with them since then. I've had to scoot some along to our adult D&D, and they are not happy about it. But other than that, I've had a pretty consistent group with almost all of these for most of the time that I've been working here. Are there any more questions or concerns or comments?
On your murder mystery parties, where do you get the kit or the content, or is there a certain site you use or resource you use for that?
I use Etsy for buying them. They're pretty cheap on Etsy. I think the one I use I've had since oh gosh, for a year now. And they love it. They love having it. I've never done one where it's with food involved, where it's like the murder mystery dinner. It's usually after we close. That way it's got that, like cool spooky vibe to it. And they get characters in a little envelope. They read their characters and then they mingle until the person that just happens to be murdered is murdered. And then we go about using the clues. I started a writing group last fall, and I have 2 regular teens. Despite my low attendance, I continue to offer it since they get so much out of it. I let them pick out a new name and design a logo. Both teens have become more outgoing and confident in their writing and themselves. When I started my writing club, I had 1 teen, and it is a teen that comes to most of my events, and I've gotten to know them very well since I started, and they have done so well with their writing. I've to the point where they keep inviting their friends, and it's now a like 10-person thing. So what I always like to tell my kids is invite your friends if you think they'll enjoy it. Um, One teen gave me a piece that made me cry. It was so touching. My teens do that to me all the time. Um, I love my teens. They make me a better person. But yes, I always like to tell them about the KUT writing program. I don't know what it's called off the top of my young writers. And what they do is they can put in um, a I'm pretty sure it's like a poem or I can't remember it off the top of my head, but that one was I like to tell my teens about that all the time. And so if you think that they are confident in their writings, that would be yes, thank you. The Young Writers Contest. That is a great one. We have posters hang up all around the library for them um, to use. Of course, don't worry about your failures. It comes with the job, but the successes are so much better once you take into consideration what the teens want themselves. That's what I've really learned along the way. The job comes with challenges, of course, but the teens are great, and they really enjoy what most of us are doing. Any other questions or comments? Do I keep my dates consistent or does it vary? I keep my dates very consistent. It's For Anime Club, it's the last week of the month. I also do a thing called Teen Cafe that I got from a kayak conference actually last year, I'm pretty sure, or one of the meetings during the year. I'm not sure. Um, but they get to come in and hang out with their friends, and they get to drink coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever they want. I provide little snacks for them, and that's the first of the month. And then, like I said, the anime club is the last weekend of the month. And all of my programs are usually on a Tuesday or Thursday at 5 o'clock. So I do keep them consistent for them. That way they know what day to be here for what event I'm planning. Have you ever had to decide between a bunch of possible programs? My teens want more programs, but I'm part-time. I'm full-time, but I did start off as part-time, and it was hard. What I like to do is I pick the ones that I think that they will enjoy the most, um, and um, put them first for them, and try to keep it consistent again, so they know when to be here, what we're planning, things like that. And then, if possible, you can always have if you have a teen advisory board, you can have your teens help with your events. That would be a great way to get more programs. Or your fellow coworkers. My coworkers help a lot with our events, especially our programming bunch. They help out so much. They're so great. We all help out each other with our events. Kennedy says Teen Cafe is by far my most popular program. It really helps build those relationships with your teens, and it requires literally zero planning after the initial cafe. And that is the truth. As long as you have a coffee pot, tea, or hot chocolate, and cups for them, and maybe a little snack for them in the morning, because it's usually the morning time that I have mine, it requires no planning at all. I put out board games. If they want board games, they can play the Switch or the Wii while they're in there. It's, again, their own room, the GameCube that I use for programming for them. It is such a good program, and if you guys have not tried it out, I recommend trying it out because it's so easy. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
Tori,
Thank you, Amy, for
oh,
putting that in there also.
yeah, thank you, Amy, and thank you, Tori. This has been very, very informative, and I think it sounds like everybody's doing some really great things, and you've given them even more ideas on all the amazing things that you're doing. I want to remind everybody that the copy of the PowerPoint is available in today's PDFs and slides on your home screen in Blackboard Learn as well. Once you're out of a particular room, you'll see that on your screen. Was there anything else, Tori, that you wanted to share before we close?
I am putting in the chat um, the book tasting activity I did. It's Starbucks Cafe. It is $2.80, and it comes with a bunch of information. If you guys want to try the book tastings, I personally loved them so much, and the students and the teachers loved them. So it's a great activity if you guys ever go to the schools. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tori, and thank you everyone for attending this session. We also want to thank um, IMLS and LSTA for supporting KDLA and the KYAC conference this year. Um, We also want to remind you that we are going to have a short break here and have another session before the day ends coming up at the top of the hour. You can return to this room, which is room 1, or room 2 or 3 for the last session of the day. Tori, do you want to put your email address in if anybody has any questions or wants to brainstorm more with you?
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now.
Thank you so much.
Please contact